Weekend is just around the corner, and you are most welcome for the final edition of the KOKOLIRIKO live show for this week. My name is Farish Majid, and I want to take this opportunity to welcome you in a special way from wherever you are watching us from this early morning, to say you are most welcome. That is the KOKOLIRIKO live show, and we are just 7 minutes after 7 o'clock. And this is where we are going to be delving into some of the topical discussions. Later on, also, we shall be joined by Oracle Benson Pastore, and he will be giving us the sports update plus some of the stories that also really I feel you need to know of. And that is where we are saying we want to take this opportunity, that is to welcome you aboard in a special way from wherever you're watching us from. It could be within Western Sub-region, in districts of Obongi, Yumbe, Madiokolo, Terego, Arua District, Arua City, not forgetting Zombo, Pakwach, and other districts already within Western Sub-region. Still, we say you are most welcome. But for those who are watching us within Bunyoro, in the parts of Ulisa, Masindi, Hoima, we say you are also really still welcome to the show. And this is where we are going to be delving into the topical discussions with you, and we shall also later on be checking in through some of your comments. And that's where we say have it also in mind that you will be doing that, and that's sort of where we shall be giving you that opportunity of course, in a special way to also really be part of the discussion later on in there. And I want to take this opportunity, not forgetting my brothers and sisters watching us in the other parts of the country, for instance, in central Uganda, eastern, and the entire northern Uganda in there, not forgetting those who are watching us also already in the other parts. Still, we say you are most welcome. And then those who are watching us overseas and across borders, it could be in South Sudan, it could be in Democratic Republic of Congo. Still, we say nonetheless, it's always great having you on board. And that is where we say welcome and welcome aboard. And this is where we are going to be doing the discussion with you. And now, so many stories going to happen. And remember, it was a busy week, and I should say a busy week it was. So many stories also already unfolded, where we did see a lot of issues also really emerging, and we shall be also letting you know what exactly happened in there. But now, in relation to the issue of fight against corruption, we are seeing more people being arrested, and Lestes, who is also really being arrested, is one of the permanent secretaries who also really is being arrested. And I will be letting you know who exactly this person is as we get to move on with discussion. And I want to take this opportunity now to ask you as the viewer to also really be just tightening your belts from wherever you're watching us from. It could be on the TV. We say do not touch that remote to change the dial. Just leave it. That's at 477 sometimes. Also, for those of you watching us via YouTube, Zuku, we say you also keep it. You must also keep it locked. That is to channel 0073. For those of you who are watching us, that is via the Zuku platform in there. And I will be also engaging those who are watching us online, and you who is watching us via YouTube. It could be within maybe also through Facebook, it could be also through via X, and these are the middle class whom we always call in there, because the corporates are always there on X. And I want to say those who are watching us via X, also still we say it's great having you on board this morning. And now to begin off the discussions with one of the stories happening that is across the country. We did see also President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni yesterday launching one of those activities, and which I really feel I need to also let you know of, and that is also really that's something that happened yesterday in Entebbe, and this is also going to be a supply fuels farm in there. And I really want to ask the president now to make sure this facility should be given in the right hands of the people who are not corrupt, because we don't want to see also only corruption infiltrating in there. And I really want to say we are now also really expecting the fruits of also the fight against corruption in there, which I feel at the end of the day we may also really realize the benefit in there. But that is something we did see happening yesterday, and now also that brings a lot of excitement to the people and the facility in Wakiso district. And we did see yesterday President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni on Thursday, which was July 18th, also launching the Mathati Infra Uganda Limited, a new fuel company that is Kauku in Entebbe Wakiso district in there. And the launch also company is expected to transport oil that's from Kisumu port in Kenya until also Entebbe on the shores of Lake Victoria in there. And that's where we are going to be looking at that factory also being established at. And according to Works and Transport Ministry, the company has invested heavily in infrastructure so really to transport oil from Kisumu, which is also really linked with an oil pipeline from Mombasa, India. And it says also really with the website, on its website, this link also really means there will be a reduction in the use of roads for transport. That's to transport fuel from Kenya to Uganda, meaning those tanks that we have been often seeing also really transporting fuel. Also, there will be a reduction of them. It will also be be quite simple through now the pipeline where oil will be poured from Mombasa through maybe underground. It will find its way into Uganda in there. And the Mahathi Infra Uganda Limited will not be involved in the sale of oil, but its core objective is to just transport oil from Kenya to Uganda. This is according to information from the Ministry of Oil India. And the launch of the Mahathi, which also is part owned by Captain Mike Mukula, has completed also the establishment of its 70 million litre storage. Thanks, that is at Kauku in there. And the ministry will also says that presently petroleum products, also what we call such as diesel, gasoline and kerosene and jet A1 are transported by road, also really from Kisumu to Eldoret. That means they will be kept here. But they are not going to be doing the selling, but quite what they are going to be doing is just storage. And how effective will this be able to also work? Because we are going to be seeing it coming with its own advantages and disadvantages. But really we want to also first of all go with advantages. I believe a number of opportunities are going to be created for the young people here, such as also the employment opportunities, which I feel is the way to go, because many times our young people have been delving into poverty, and now I feel that is already going to be addressing the concern. And on your screens there is also what we did see yesterday, how the launch did go on, and I want to really ask upon each and everybody to really support this project, and I believe this is the way to go. And you can just see it just adjacent, that is the shores of the lake also in there, and we are seeing the lake just in there. And this was standing where there is a water body, and I really feel this is also really going to be addressing that concern in there. And this is also actually what we need more, and we need more projects of such caliber also really to reach and also really be decentralized. And I really want to see at one time maybe such a facility be established in Zombo, be established in Germany, be established in War. This will make me proud, and this will make, I believe, everybody proud if at all this is established deep down in Logiri there. And this will also make everybody feel happy about also really such projects. And I believe this is also really due to the advantages it comes with. First of all, of infrastructure development, we are going to be seeing the road established. And then secondly, employment opportunities, definitely be it indirectly or directly, we are going to be seeing a number of people be also really established and also really be employed in there. For instance, we have drivers, we have casual laborers, we have the askaris. All this will be coming from the communities, and I believe that also really brings in a lot of employment opportunities, which, don't you think so? And that is also really where we need such projects also really in our areas in there. And that is one thing we did see yesterday. And President Museveni also really inspected the Lake Victoria logistics fuel supplies during his visit also for the official launch at Kauku in Wakiso district, and he was also really accompanied by Ravi Sankar, the director Mahathi Infra Uganda Limited, Red Tie, also really that's also really Energy Minister, also really Ruth Nankabira, and Works Minister, that's General Edward Katumba Wamala, who also gave the president company to also go and inspect this facility in there. And that is one thing we didn't see happening. And monthly shipments also are planned to meet Uganda's fuel demand, which currently stands also at 7 million liters daily, with an also really expected annual growth rate of about 7 to 9% in there. And this is one thing I also really want to also really call upon now people to also really embrace about, because if at all we are not asking people or to also really embrace such projects, and then others may look at it as a waste of time, which is not the reality. But we are saying we need such projects also really to be established, and this is already what we call development, and development also really comes with its own advantage. I do not want to lament and also really allude to what we call the disadvantages, but I believe each and everyone out there knows the disadvantages of these products, but really we want to go with the advantages, because when you look at fuel, this is actually what we call the leading that is fuel, that is sort of the economic development in there, because it is fuel itself, but also it is what fuels what we call the development of the country in there, because the economy entirely is being determined by fuel. And once the country is having expensive fuel prices, usually we know what that means. And most of the things also will be expensive, and fuel is actually one thing that also determines our mode of transport, because many of the vehicles which we are using, which we also depend on, use fuel, unlike also really now the emergency of electric vehicles and also really motorcycles, which are not also really keenly taken advantage of, but we are saying we are yet depending on fuel. That is for transport, because our mode entirely is also being determined by fuel, and that means we need the taxis also to be fueled, and we need lesser prices. And remember, Kenya also recently came out and also really talked about the fuel deal, which did not go on, and where we are likely to see fuel prices of Uganda being slightly higher than the rest of the southern communities also really in there, because the deal and the agreement also within Kenya and Uganda also really was not sufficient enough, and that's where we are likely also really to witness our fuel prices price being slightly higher, because Kenya, which is already where our fuel comes from, may also put theirs at a bit higher price, which may also be the case in there. But we are saying we are yet following up on that, and we want to see development also already being spearheaded in there. And that is why we need to support such projects, and supporting such projects is really the way to go. And I feel if at all we did not do so, then definitely that wouldn't also be quite well for us. And that's one thing we summarize the discussion with. I don't know what you think as the viewer, but really we are saying, if at all you are just joining us right now, you're most welcome aboard. But what do you think about the fuel launch that also is going to be there? Do you think it's going to be disadvantageous to the community? Definitely it is your own opinion, which we also respect. And if at all you have anything to front forward, feel free to drop it on our comment section in there, and I will be checking it later on, and that would also paint us an image of what is also happening. And now let's talk about corruption, because corruption has often also dragged us behind as country. And now yesterday we did see Miss Geraldine Sally being arrested. And what does this mean in terms of also the fight against corruption here? And somebody also could be asking himself, we have been talking about corruption over and over again, despite also the several facilities and institutions that have been established by the government to make sure that the vice is also really hit, also really down in there. But today we are having many more agencies and institutions already being created that's also to help deal with the vice amidst also the existence of also the already that have been installed in place. Look at the IG, which is already there entirely to fight corruption. We do have the anti-corruption coalition, which have all been established there to fight corruption, and many others. But we are still seeing corruption also really still dragging us behind as a country. What should be done? And could it be that individuals now, with the fight against the president has taken against the individual corrupt right now, is going to yield fruits? Is it also really something you feel is very sufficient? Is arresting these people very enough? Definitely that is your own opinion as the viewer, but I can confirm to you yesterday we did see Permanent Secretary Geraldine Sally was arrested also for taking part in corruption in there. But that is one thing also which have often been in there. But so many people have actually raised doubt about also the strategy the president is taking right now in the fight against corruption in there. Now the prosecution that had intended to amend the charges to slap a few more on the head of Mr. Geraldine Sally told us already a court that also that permanent secretary will instead be dreadlocked also really that in the dock that will be sitting in tomorrow. And Ms. Sally also was subsequently taken to Kira Division Police with the semblance of a VIP cell in her home for at least 24 hours in there. At the Trade Ministry, accounting officer is answering for deliberating circle of corruption in which officials dug deeper into the war loss that's also already paid also against corruption. And remember, the president recently came out, that is also in the State of Nation address, where he said he has been hearing about corruption where money worth trillions and trillions are being lost every financial year, but now he is going to be dealing with the corrupt also already head on in there. And could it be yielding fruits? And what have people been waiting? Because many people have been saying for over 38 years we have not had these initiatives, and now we are seeing it now when the man is now 38 years in power. But what exactly went wrong? And the man, I can confirm to you, said he has not been having evidence, but now he has evidence that some permanent secretaries, and actually during this recent retreat of the cabinet ministers, we did see also really the permanent secretaries plus a number of other workers already being brought on board, as also really unlike over the previous years where it used to only be strictly for the cabinet ministers and the MPs. But now we have seen the recent also really bringing together the different also really permanent secretaries to also deliberate on the issues of corruption, where the president has pledged to fight corruption and deal with the vice also in there. Now we are seeing many people being arrested. And what about those who are living in fear now? Because many of the people are now unsettled. They can confirm to you this. Many people who must have also eaten the money through corrupt means are now in panic. Many of them actually do not know what to do, but we are saying that should be the case. We need to make sure that money, what is given for its purpose, should also go to and should not be channeled, because if at all money is given for a particular sector, it should go there. We need not to also divert the money, as we have often seen in some scenarios in there. But that is one thing also really I feel I shouldn't leave behind, and also let you know. And how did Sally fell into the hot soup? As somebody also really should be asking him or herself out there. But I'm saying on August of 2023, we did see Speaker Anita Mong also direct the sectoral committee on tourism, trade, and also the industry to conduct an inquiry into the status, governance, and also resourcing and value for money for public funds allocated, that is to cooperatives, during the financial year of 2022 and 2023 in there. And the report from the Committee on Tourism tourism, trade and industries. Investigation also into the financial dealings of cooperatives revealed also that a pattern of mismanagement and alleged fraudulent activities involving significant sums of money were also taking place in there. The report detailed instances of unauthorized transactions, unaccounted funds and dubious legal representations, and raising serious questions about what we call the integrity and governance within the societies in there. But how do we make sure that people do not have doubt in the fight against corruption, because this has actually dragged our Ugandan government behind? And could it be the time now that we are going to be witnessing our money realizing its value, because now we are living in a time where the money also really should be coming from us. Many of the donors have pulled off, and we are now saying we need to support our money, we need to support our economy, because we are going to be also borrowing, and now some money also needs to come from us. And once some few individuals also really pocket the money into their pockets, then that wouldn't be good. And that's why we're saying we are yet following up on this matter. But you as the viewer, do you think the right channel the country is taking is also really going to be yielding fruits? Could it be the right channel? Could it be the right track also really we are taking in curbing the dangerous vice of corruption? What more needs to be done? Because we are also going to be realizing that also after the corrupt identifying the strategy of them being arrested, then definitely they will be able to also devise new means which may also not be right. In the three legislators and PS Sadi are jointly charged with also Julius Kiria, the managing partner of Kiria and Company Advocates, and Leonard Tivundira, the principal cooperative officer, Trade Ministry, and Industry Cooperatives in there. And that is one thing also we are seeing. And remember, she is not alone. She is also going to be charged alongside members of parliament, including Michael Mawanda of Vigara East, Paul Akamba of Busiki County, and also the Elgon County legislator, that is Ignatius Mudumi Wamokunyu, who will also really be facing the charges in there. And Miss Sadi was also really fell and joined the colleague who was been arrested in there. And that means also really we are going to be following up on that matter. Could it be the right channel? And what should be done to corrupt individuals who have also been swindling our money in there is also something I should also ask your opinion on. Because many of the times we have lost huge sums of money, and this money worth trillions and trillions, which also have been misallocated and misdirected also during budget also in there. And how have this impacted on the economy? I must say this has negatively impacted on the economy, and corruption has actually dragged us behind, and therefore we need to do something. And who is to fight also against corruption? It means me and you have to be whistleblowers. And when I talk about me and you, I mean you, the viewer. Definitely, if at all you are seeing somebody engaging in corrupt tendencies and corrupt activities, please feel free to report. You also have the numbers, the IGG offices are within your places. Feel free to walk in there, and that's also where, as a whistleblower, you are going to be kept secret. And it is upon now the institutions which have been established in place also to do their work in there. And that is also where my humble appeal also to these institutions is that they shouldn't also really sit on duty. And if at all a whistleblower comes to them, please, I want to see also really quick action and quick interventions. That's also in relation to addressing the matters in there, because if at all we are not doing so, and then definitely people may not have trust in the institution, and the fight against corruption may just remain a song or a myth, which we shall be continuing to lament on. Other than that, that would also really mean we are not going to be realizing our dreams of fighting against corruption. But that is also really something which I say we need also to investigate on as we get moving with the show, because definitely that is something I wouldn't also really very much want to dwell on. But I want to say that is something we are yet going to be following up on, and I believe at the end of the day we are going to be realizing also that, because at the end of the day we also need to see our country also really develop, and that's also really where we are saying we are going to be talking about issues of corruption until the last drop. And you is corrupt, if you are around you, trust me, we are going to report to you also against the corruption also, because corruption has done a negative disservice to us as a country. Look at our medical facilities, sometimes they lack the drugs because of corruption, because somebody out there could be carrying boxes and boxes of medical assortment also, which have been donated also to the health facilities also in there, to their private also owned businesses, where we are saying that is still corruption. And then the issues of the road, where money that was allocated for road sometimes only is channeled, and then the work that's also being done is shoddy, and then after very few years we are seeing our roads also really in bad conditions in there. And that is where we're saying we need not to sort of put the issues of corruption seriously, likely in there. We need to take it seriously. Other than that, we also really are going to be also really following on that matter until the last drop in there. And that is one thing also really we are seeing. And also really to look at now other stories. Let's now jet into Buganda, where Namibia has declined to extend Kabaka's stay also really in the country. That is according to information we're receiving from the state media in there. And now the Namibian government has declined a visa extension request for Buganda King also Ronald Kabaka Muwenda Mutebi II. And that's something we did see in there. And that's also according to Namibia's public broadcaster, citing a top government official of the South African country in there. And that is one thing we did see happening in there. And what does this mean for this also king who had gone to also really seek for medical attention in the country in there after spending a long period of time? Could we see him also really being returned like that? And that me is not going to be right, because it will look like deportation. And according to Buganda, its 69-year-old monarch has since maybe recuperated at the health facility in also that's in Kunene province, in approximately which is 700 kilometers from the Namibian capital, that's of Windhoek in there. Namibian Broadcasting Corporation (NBC) on Wednesday reported that the country's Ministry of Internal Relations and Cooperation had rejected a request that is to extend Kabaka's visa, even for Kwangari Center also requested for that in there for him to stay and also continue with the medication. What does it tell about our medical facility? Could it be that our medical personnel do not have the right also the channels or also the right experience to take care of also such activities? Definitely, I do not know, but that means also we need to also build on our medical facilities. It means that as a country, we need to pick a lesson from this, and as government, we need to invest a lot of monies in the health department so that already we not also carry on these referrals, because the Kabaka is not the only one. We have seen several referrals where our people have to be also referred to India, others have to be referred to Nairobi, but yet we need the money. We need to also ensure that our people are treated within Uganda. That is really something I feel is not right, and that paints a bad image. And I feel this is one thing also that should also really be very, very much bad. But of yesterday, I was able to see a lot of comparison between Uganda and Namibia on social media. I don't know what that means, but I was able to see Ugandans posting themselves smartly and also posting scratchy pictures of Namibians. But definitely that's not right, because at the end of the day, we are all Africans and we are all in the African continent, and we must continue talking about Pan-Africanism. And that is one thing also which should be as a source of warning to us. It means government of Uganda now needs to channel a lot of resources to the medical facility, and so that sorely we would not have issues of such referrals, which have also really painted a very much a bad image of us, because I believe this also really should be a source of worry to anybody out there, because why is that they have refused to extend the Kabaka's stay in the country? Could it be that now the Kabaka has fully recovered? Definitely, I do not know. Or could it be that his condition is not well and they feel something also now need to be done from another country? Could they be running away from also the burden of taking care of the king in there? Definitely, I'm saying that is not the case. But we are falling upward, and the reason also will be also be told to you in the subsequent also developments in there. But I want to say, rejecting the request of Namibia, rejecting the request by Namibia's Ministry of Internal Relations and Cooperation Executive Director, that's Penda Nanda, said the country's law also on immigration provides for a maximum of stay of 90 days. That is for non-Namibians, only per NBC reports in there. And that means only you are not allowed to stay in the country for more than 90 days. And that is where the laws for that country are. And that is where also we are coming to the end of the discussions for now. Let's take this short commercial break. And when we bounce back, we still have lots more prepared for you. And Odako Benson's Pastore will be joining us anytime from now. And that is where I wanted this opportunity to ask you to stay locked as we get to continue with the other topics which are prepared for you. Stay tuned.
West Nile TV, lighting up the region.
Cameras, check. Lights, check. Sound, check. Judges, check. Action. Get ready for the Miss Uganda Grand Finale live at 8 p.m. on 3rd August 2024. 28 finalists in boot camp. One crown. Who will be the next Miss Uganda? Follow the beautiful journey to the final on Makula Chika exclusively on Star Times every Friday and Saturday at 8 p.m.
Sponsored by VNA, LMZ, Comform, Nigerian Hotel, Kira Motors, Sheraton, Uganda Airlines, and lead sponsors, Dress Textiles and U-Home.
Miss Uganda 2024. True Ugandan beauty.
West Nile TV, lighting up the region.
All right, welcome back from that short commercial break, and now we have been joined by Oracle Benson Pastore, and he will also be letting us know. But first thing first, Benson, you're most welcome onto the show. If at all you could say a good morning to the viewer, that would be good. You're most welcome.
Exactly, that's where I want to start. First of all, before I greet our viewers, I want to first start by greeting you, and then I reach with the viewers. You know that the week is almost coming to an end. I should say it has already come to an end because this is the last edition for KOKOLIRIKO. So for this week, and weekend is also bouncing back, but that's not the topic of discussion. The topic of discussion is all about what has happened and what continues to transpire as far as the updates all over the world is concerned.
Now that brings me to the point, this week is now ending. What story made it for you in the headlines already as we get to summarize the week?
I remember last week we were discussing about refugees, our brothers and sisters, and a strange story actually broke this week whereby we have seen refugees in Ajuman district. They are over wrangles, over tribal issues, they are fighting here and there, and the worst part of it is that we saw 60 huts being burned down by unknown people, but these are refugees. But 2 people, as we speak right now, they have been detained at Juman Central Police Station. The police, they are yet doing the investigation. Not only that, and also in Obong. First, so many things. And yet, this one, of course, is the hypocritical part of it, ironical part of it. Last week, and we are for their independence. This
sounds quite ironic to me. I don't know why, but Benson, really, why should we be fighting amongst ourselves in this era? Because in the 21st century, I do not want to also really talk very much about that, but I believe these issues have been caused by as a result of tribal fights. These are intertribal conflicts which have also really been transported into another country. But how do we make sure that these people peacefully coexist? Because we have been talking about peaceful coexistence, first of all, amongst the refugees and the host communities. Now we are seeing also this unity emerging from the refugees themselves. And I don't know what that means to you as an analyst. What can you say about it? Because these tribes that are also really where we have seen a lot of conflict, because this is not the very first time, Benson. We have seen this happening in most of the settlement areas where a Dinka will fight with also really anywhere. Because some time back I was, in Telegom, one of the refugee settlements, also really this issue actually came out, that these people fight amongst themselves over minor issues, at which we have also seen a number of them being arrested.
It's true,
what does this say about the kind of relationship between the South Sudanese who are within this
That's why I was trying to reflect back, trying to flash back. Last week and also last month, actually we are for the Refugee Day celebration all over the world. And at the same time,
independence actually was last week.
And we are calling for peace, advocating for peace in their country. And ironically, hypocritical, if this is the way how they are behaving, do you think what they were advocating for is going to work is another angle I'm looking forward into. And at the same time, remember the genius theme they had in the celebration was all about living in solidarity. And they are the ones advocating for solidarity, advocating for peace, and at the end,
Benson, this actually perturbs me because we are talking about solidarity where the host community has been asked to stand in solidarity with the refugees. But the refugees on the other side are painting a wrong image, which I really feel something needs to be done towards. Because if that's not done, so then we are going to be seeing these fights continuing, but which I feel is quite wrong. I don't know, Benson, what message would you have for this South Sudanese if at all you are amongst them, of which you are not? What will you tell your brothers if at all you are from that country and you are living in this
It is actually the unfortunate part of it. Like recently, 60 huts have been burnt down. Actually, I should say, sorry to say this, they don't have permanent houses. They actually have huts.
Shelters.
And these ones, they have struggled a lot to see that they actually come up with a shelter, a hut of that kind. And unknown people, and these are refugees, not the host communities, not the host members, also refugees themselves. Others, they have gone on to burn these houses. As you speak right now, others have been detained at Jumani police station. They are yet doing the investigation. Not only that, also in Murubi, one of the refugee settlements we have in the region, that side of Obongi district. Last month also, one of the refugees, of course, had to grab the gun from a police officer, had to shoot his friend dead. That was one of the scenes. And also in 2020...
So should we say it was the negligence of the police officer to be not in the alert? Because really, how can somebody grab the gun from you and use it for shooting another person? What can you say about this really?
So it happens, first it happens. You know, sometimes, you know, these individuals, they can overpower you. These citizens, sometimes they can overpower you. Maybe it just happened abruptly. Maybe
what
he
if,
was not
what
aware.
If they picked the gun and shot the police officer too? That is where
it was going to be the worst part of it. And what does it mean to the security guard?
What should they learn from that?
It means whenever you are going for maybe an investigation, maybe you are going for security-related issues. So you need to be careful. Your gadget, do they call it a gadget?
Yes,
that is
their gadget.
That is their gadget.
Ours is the recorder, theirs is the gun.
So you have to be very, very careful whenever you are with those things. You need to make sure that you take care of them, because you have to also know that some of these people, they know how to operate the gadgets. So you have to be very, very careful. That is the only advice I can give to them. First, still going back. Also, in just some few years ago, in 2020, we also saw the same sagas, the same movie, the same scene happen in Obongi. That's also in Morobi's refugee settlement. Also, we saw them, the refugees, fighting over maize grain, whereby we registered so many deaths. So all these things, they are just happening, as you said, because of tribal issues. Why are they fighting because of tribal issues? If we, the host nation, as the host communities, they are able to host them in harmonious way, why is it that I expect them to stay in harmonious way, just like sisters and brothers? You leave aside the issue of tribes, what, you stay. If there is a problem, you sit together, you solve it together. If there is happiness, you celebrate together.
You know, Benson, these fights also really, I feel there's something that needs to be done in terms of mindset. And mindset change is actually key here, because you look at these tribes, really the fights are usually between two tribes. That is the Nuer and the Dinka over superiority and inferiority. But really, how do you make sure that these issues are put aside? Because the fights with another also really is just because this one did this to the other brothers of mine. Also, now the other groups join, and we see the fights escalating. Because Benson, recently I was in Terego, the fight was actually caused just because of a simple reason. Can you know the reason? Two young people were fighting over a girl. And these are two people of different tribes. So the other one had to win the girl, and the other one felt very bad. And how did it result? It resulted into what we call tribal fight, where the community members and the tribe and the clansmen also had to join and fight. And we saw arrows being removed, spears had to be removed, until they had to call for Uganda police and UPDF to calm the situation. But really, why should we be engaging the security agencies in such an avoidable circumstance? Because I really feel there's something needs to be done to solve these refugees. Because this is not the very first time we are seeing it happening. It has not only happened in Jumani. We have seen this happening in Terego. We have seen the fights among the refugees only happen in Madiokolo. But how do you make sure this does not go on? Because we are in the 21st century, where I believe things that needed to be looked out in Fuananango.
So first, one thing people believe is mind change is all about sensitization, but I don't believe much in that. You change, you reform just by yourself. Like, I look at them as brothers and sisters amidst themselves. You cannot just wait for sensitization for us being educated from maybe from stakeholders. You are yourself. Why don't you learn before people maybe come and sensitize you? Like, I expected them to have reformed at this particular moment, because they have registered so many chaotic cases, and where some of them, of course, have raised into the hands of the police officers. That was where I expected them to have changed ways, to have reformed, and they still continue.
Benson, we have so many organizations working in these refugee camps. That is, others have also really been working on mindset change. We have seen
do you have to say,
of them.
Do you have to,
really, I believe, Benson, something needs to be done to them, because if I can be able to mention to you a number of these organizations, I will mention more than 5, which have been also training the people, first of all, with hand-on skills, and then secondly, others have been doing mindset change, but nothing is changing.
Yeah, it's
what needs
true.
to be done?
Does it mean that these NGOs, because most of the organizations that
within the camps, yes.
most of them are non-governmental organizations, does it mean they are not doing enough to see that they actually sensitize these refugees on the issue of maybe peace, advocating for peace? Does it mean these organizations, they are not doing enough work? Is actually one thing.
I wouldn't say no. I wouldn't say that they are not doing enough. They are doing their work. They are doing their part. But then these people have to change.
Is it just their perception? Is it just the negative ideology they are possessing that is making them to do things in chaotic ways?
Really, to have somebody change entirely depends on who this person is and what exactly this person wants. Because I may be able to tell you change. Benson, it's just like you talking to somebody who is drinking alcohol or somebody who is a smoker. It takes time for them to change. But how do we make sure that this doesn't go on? And how do we make sure that this will change? Because this is not the very first time, Benson. Ever since this book came, we have seen people being told they are where they have been asked to live together.
Truly.
Messages of peace among these tribes have also been able to be spread in there. And recently, Benson, we had the Junebin Festival, where you saw these messages also coming, and partly you also came and saw and heard what the people were saying. But nothing is changing. And where we are, things seem to be verified. But in the camps where elders and where other people are, things are not moving on well.
They left their country because of chaos, and written here again they involving themselves in the issues of chaos. What can we say? What should be done? Does it mean that of course the police officers, security guards, of course, will have to come into the issue? Is it now the role of the host communities to see that they calm the situation down? Whereas it still goes back into their hands is actually 3 things we are looking forward. Yes, as I had said earlier on, we might be talking about sensitizing them, sensitizing the masses, sensitizing them.
So this is my take on the whole matter. If at all sensitization has failed, I think if there is now any riot in the camps, we should start taking for them UPDF. UPDF will deal with them. And I feel that is the way to go, because this really bends on somebody who is very, very much against conflicts, and I hate wrangles. And I really believe this is the way to go, because talking to somebody enough, it really is enough. Talking to somebody but if they fail, I really want to say government of Uganda now needs to resort to taking UPDF for them, and they should be caned.
I think that should be the best idea. But what has happened, of course, right now, how do you think those people who are affected, they are now feeling like their shelters being burnt down, like 60, like I said, they don't have permanent houses. What they have are just shelters, just temporary shelters, huts. 60 of them being burnt down. By now, I think the people, the culprits who have been affected right now, they should be suffering. I think government, of course, will have to also look forward to see that they address some of these matters. Like you said, the best way could be maybe addressing it via the best security officers, like the police officers, their guns being grabbed, and so I think the best one could be using UPDF, as you have said. What I can only say as a summary is, of course, they will have to reform from what they are doing, because we have taken them as brothers and sisters to us. They ran from the chaotic part of what had been transpired in their country. Written here, they need to live in harmonious way. If there are issues to be done with the tribe, what, I think they need to leave it aside, because if we can be able to accommodate them like brothers and sisters, why is it that they fight amidst themselves? I think that's something they will have to reform.
Yes, just like what Benson has said, these people need to learn from us. We are not fighting among ourselves. We are not seeing a fight between the Kakuas and the Lubaras or the Alurus, also with the Madis. We are living peacefully. And you find that Aluru is in the Madi sub-region, and in Madi sub-region you find there's a Kuku or Kakwa, but we are living peacefully, and you never hear of us being in the fights, and that means the refugees need to learn something from also the Ugandan counterparts. Sad, sorry, we not also really see them also being channeled and also being caged by UPDF, and that is also really something which I really want to also echo out as a warning for those who are also engaging in these activities. And Benson, that's where we are leaving that discussion aside with. And now we are seeing a suspect who has been on the run for more than 3 years now being arrested after also defiling a 14-year-old girl that is in the Masulita village, also in Kakiri Town Council, Wakiso district, and was also already arrested after a tip-off from the locals within the area. What can you say about this, Benson?
First, one thing.
Why is that people still do not also want to respect the girl child? Why are we still seeing cases of defilement being high?
First, I want to confirm to you this issue of defilement, issue of defilement, theft will never come to an end. That is one thing, of course, I know.
But why?
Because it is something which has been there, and people, of course, have been sensitized about it. People, of course, have been educated about it, but still, they cannot listen. I don't know why it's continuing like this, but this is something, of course, we have to dig deep into it. Why is it happening continuously? Why can they leave it is actually one thing, one angle we need to discuss it, because I think this is something which has been happening in our daily life every day. Because you take the whole world, not only in Africa, not only in Uganda, not only in Western Island, but in the whole world, you see the cases of rape, defilement happening. Why is it not? What is not happening? Why is it continuing like this? Of course, it's one thing. People will have to look forward to see that they calm the situation. I think there are so many things, of course, that will have to be done to see that they calm the situation. As we speak right now, someone might be thinking that if someone is arrested, or maybe because of the case of rape, maybe defilement, that person, maybe people are just thinking what kind of punishment should be given to such kind of people. I think to me, that's my opinion, that's my view, To me, I suggest if a person is suggested maybe is arrested, is arrested because of maybe the issue of rape, maybe the issue of defilement, I think a huge kind of punishment, of course, will have to be imposed on such a person, such that it calms the situation. But our laws
also permit more than 7 years for one to be in prison. 7 years is not enough.
Maybe that one, people continue to look at it as a minor punishment.
Okay.
I think the law, of course, will have to come up with a punishment, which, of course, will make people to reform, will make people to change, will make the whole society, not only in Uganda, but the whole world to change, to reform from such kind of acts. I think imposing a huge punishment will be better than having 7 years sentence.
Okay, according to the information we are receiving, the man has been identified also as Jesse Sempara, who is currently detained that is at Kakiri Police Division, that's in Wakiso district. And I now want to say, those who are dealing with the young girls, we are saying do not take advantage of these girls, because these girls are supposed to be in classroom, they're supposed to be in school, but you are there taking advantage of them, sleeping with them. At the end of the day, we talk about teenage pregnancy and also teenage mothers being on the rise in there, but that shouldn't be the case. And you who is there watching us right now, and you know the girl you are having and calling your girlfriend is still below 18 years, because our laws say a person is an adult, that is at 18 years, but other countries have it at 16, but we are saying ours is at 18. Even if that girl is 17 months and 5 months old, she's still a kid and she's still a child. That means she's not an adult. You have to wait until maybe when the girl clocks 20 years. But we are still saying, even if the girl is 20 years but she's still in school, please leave her, allow her to study, because the girl child is really vulnerable to these activities. Benson, really, why must we be talking about defilement in this era? Because today when you walk Benson, you see young mothers, you see young daughters. Really brings pain to my eyes. And sometimes I feel very bad and I look at them and they say, why did this one actually get pregnant? Why and what happened? And most of the time, Benson issues go back to the parents. I will be able to explain to you why.
First, to some extent, that is to, it might be to a smaller extent, it might be to a greater extent. We sometimes blame some of these young ladies. I can say some of these young girls, because a lady is someone who's already above 18. Some of these young girls, some of their parents, to some extent, I blame them. Like a parent, or as the parents of a lady, or as a girl, might abandon a girl, may even fail to buy smear oil for such a girl, not even paying the school fees of the girl. And also sometimes, of late, that the perception of money, of late, people think that love is all about money. Like a lady might fall in love with you, but for you cannot be able to acquire the needs she's in need of. And when such a kind of a lady gets someone who can be able to buy for him smearing oil, clothes, anything of her desire, you will see the girl seriously fall in love with such kind of a man. And you may find that that man might be about 40 years, and this is a lady who is still 16 or is 20 years of age, maybe school-going age. And that's why you see such kind of cases arising. So this is now my appeal to the girls themselves, or to the ladies themselves, and at the same time to their parents, of course. To the parents, of course, you don't have to neglect your parental duties. You need to give those things, of course, that can be able to maintain, that can be able to sustain a girl as a lady. Then to the girl, in love, love relationships are there. Don't consider money, because if your mind will be full of money, you may end up marrying a man who is not of your choice, a man who is old, 40 years of age, and you'll be 20 years of age. Does it make any combination? No. But we are giving a lot.
And the man will die and leave you there. Which usually the young broke boys connect also allege that you marry an old man at your risk. He will die and leave you but that's not what we are praying for. But we are saying, as a girl who is out there, please, if at all you are still school age going, you must concentrate on your books and also make sure you focus. Because if at all you're not focusing, then that is very, very wrong. And then also the comparison, because Benson, some of the times we have realized that these girls fall in trap because of comparisons, because they look at the friend. Is having a boyfriend who gives her money, buys. As for this, the boy buys. As for this, the man brings. As for this, at the end of the day, they say it is the men who take care of them. And that is one thing most of the girls have often said. And you ask a girl, you are young, but why are you dating an old man? That it is because you young boys, you are disturbing us a lot. You don't take care of us, you don't have money. What? These are stupid allegations, which I really want to quash, but I want to tell the girls, we need to avoid issues of relationships of money. We must also wait for the right time. And you who is in school, wait for the right time after campus, because why they used to tell us that good relationships at campus, but which is where the girls cannot wait. You see a primary 6 girl really pregnant. I don't know what can you say about
this.
First,
one thing I've been observing is most of these problems, 90% of them, they have been actually caused by money-related issues. Why am I saying this one? Just like you have said, like for young men, we understand that they might not be having enough money, like the elder people, they must work hard. So you see that an old man might be having money, might be driving, and this young man will approach a lady because you are poor. There is no one who is poor, I should say. You might be broke.
Nobody wants to be broke.
So ladies, just in summary, I should say, ladies, they like money, they love money, and at the end, it generates the issues we have just been discussing: teenage pregnancy, school dropout, issues of defilement, because the man is paying you, the man is giving you, buying for you things here and there, and at the end, you have to give him something.
Is it a form of tit for tat?
Yeah.
You give me this, I give you that.
Yeah, people say like that, and that is the reality. So, ladies, this is our message to you. You need to reform from that if you still want to live your future, build your future.
Yes, just like what Benson has said, girls, you must wait for the right time, wait for the right, because men are not going to be running away, really, I want to say. Below you're just 18 years, even if you reach 25, still there will be that man God has planned for you, other than rushing. But in most cases, we have seen our girls who are now intolerant, who are impatient. They really feel, you really see a 16-year-old girl. Benson, really, I move in the towns a lot. I must say this, I see young girls. And recently, I was in Riki. And this is quite common in the villages, Benson, in the rural areas, we are seeing young girls getting married. You see a girl who is hardly 18 years, but she's married. And they come out proudly to say that I'm married. That time I had one talking that my husband, I felt like slapping this lady because the girl was really young. And you could see pupils who had come from different schools really at the camp, because I was for the Scouts camp, Benson. I was able to see young girls also really there camping, doing their work. But really this one who was also from the village was talking about husband. I felt very bad.
First, the worst part of it is these ladies who are getting married because of money, because they are man friends, or as their husbands having money. You find that 70% of them, they ended up marrying the husbands of the other ladies. That is one thing I've been observing. You wait and see. You find that a lady is marrying an elderly person. You dig deep. You do your research. You will find that investigation. You will find that actually that man, the young lady is proud of, is actually a husband to another woman. So these are the things which have been happening in our various communities.
And besides that, we are also really seeing cases of cheating emerging, because this lady married for money, but heart is somewhere. But we are saying that shouldn't be the case, and you shouldn't do so, because love the person whom your heart also wants for you, because usually we say the heart wants what it wants. But really when the heart wants money now, that is where the problem is coming from. But we are saying you should also really get the right husbands. If I told you, as ladies, this is mostly the ladies get the right husbands. But Benson, also really we have the defilement of the boys, because sometimes they will also seeing our young boys dealing with the huge mamas, and which is also really a concern. But really we are saying that shouldn't also be the case, because in most cases we concentrate on the ladies most, and we neglect the boy child. We need also, what can you say about the boy child who is there and now being seduced also really for money by all women? And we also usually say they are sugar mummies.
Actually, you have brought the point at the right time. Mostly people's emphasis is all about girl child, not knowing that the boy child, they also suffer in boy child. They also suffer because in most cases you see 90% of the discussion they are just concentrating on the girl child, because people will think that it's only the girl child suffering always. But truly, you have said boy child, they are also suffering a lot. And first, this one brings me to the funny part of it. There was a time I asked a certain lady to define for me a right husband. And to me, that's according to me, to my judgment. She even failed to describe, she failed to differentiate a right husband from that one of a wrong husband. So this is now a plus to the ladies. This is assignment to the ladies. Ladies have come to realize that according to my own statistics investigation, ladies, they can still not define, or else they can still not scrutinize what a right man is. Because the definition actually that lady gave me shows that these ladies, of course, for them they think that a right man is only, or as a right husband is the man who is having money. But that's not the case. Yeah, you might be having, the husband might be having the money, but there are so many things, there are so many factors which describes a man as a good husband, or as a right husband. Okay. I don't know how, of course.
Benson, we are not for the love clinic, but the way you're talking is as if you're a love doctor, and that's where we're coming to the end of the discussions for the first hour. But I want to say the boy-child life also matters. We need to give keen interest also to the boy-child also who is going through a lot. And mostly sometimes we also see our boy-child also who are in relationship with older women just because they also have their own issues. But we are saying that shouldn't be the case. We must embrace working hard. We must also make sure that also we persist, because sometimes as a young person, really your life is very much difficult, and there are certain scenarios which you really feel you cannot also really persist also really into. But we are saying patience pains but pays, and that's where we are saying if at all you are going through misery right now, do not think of relationship for money. Just focus and continue praying.
First, before we go for the short break, I think we need to highlight the viewers of what we are coming next in the next stanza. Okay. Of course, the biggest story also over the weekend is all about the ICT hub at Ruiru Regional Referral Hospital final been commissioned. That means it has started working. How it will benefit the health workers, how it will benefit the whole hospital, how of course it will benefit the community members, how it operates. Of course, we are coming next for that.
Okay, that is it, and we are summarizing there, and we are leaving the discussions there. My name is Farish Majid, and I'm still together with Oracle Benson Pastore, but we take yet another short commercial breather, and we bounce back shortly.
West Nile TV, lighting up the region.
Cameras, check. Lights, check. Sound, check. Judges, check. Action. Get ready for the Miss Uganda Grand Finale live at 8 p.m. on 3rd August 2024. 28 finalists in boot camp. One crown. Who will be the next Miss Uganda? Follow the beautiful journey to the final on Makula Chika exclusively on Star Times every Friday and Saturday at 8 p.m.
Sponsored by VNA, LMZ, Comfort, Nigerian Hotel, Kira Motors, Sheraton, Uganda Airlines, and lead sponsors, Grace Textiles and U-Home.
Miss Uganda 2024. True Ugandan beauty.
West Nile TV, lighting up the region.
All right, welcome back from that short commercial break. We are back into the second hour, 3 minutes after 8 o'clock, and our final destination remains 9 o'clock. But Benson, in here, I believe we still have so many stories, and later on, we are going to be jetting internationally, and I believe there are still stories emerging also on that side of international. It could be in Europe, it could be in Asia, but still, we are going to be checking in there to also let you know of what's happening in there. But Benson, first thing first, earlier on, you gave a hint of the Arua City ICT lab being launched.
Yeah,
What is about and how it is going to be able to also impact on the medical facility, because we expect them to be injecting and now we are bringing computers to them. How is this going to help them?
Yeah, it's true. That's where we are going to commence with our the other stands of the discussion. Is all about Arua Regional Referral Hospital ICT Hub being commissioned, and so many people may not be having an idea about what that one means, because people believe, like you have said, when you talk about a health unit or as something related to health, just all about things related to health workers, doctors, nurses. Maybe you may mention some of the things like drugs, but I can confirm to you, world is upgrading, we are developing, and development is all about coping mechanism. That means what has just been happened, or is what has just been commissioned. Maybe we have seen it in the other parts of the world, and we also want to try it here and to see if it can be able to work. And just straight away to the discussion, I can confirm to you this one happened on a Thursday. Thursday, of course, was Thursday. Oh yeah, it happened on Wednesday. Wednesday was 17th of this particular month, and the year still remains 2024. Like we said earlier on, which want to repeat again, Arua Regional Referral Hospital ICT Hub.
Yes, Benson, when we talk about the ICT hub being launched, how many computers are going to be there, and what is this hub going to be also holding? Because when we talk about hub, somebody out there may not be understanding what
Yeah,
a hub is.
yeah,
What is a hub?
exactly.
First explain to that layman who is watching
That's
us
why-
from, that is Rigo sub-county.
Yeah,
That
yeah,
is
exactly.
outside of Maniokolo,
That's
that
why.
doesn't know what a hub is
That's
all
why
about.
I want to analyze it in Lemasi language so that people who are deep from the village they can be able to understand. Because, like you said, someone when we talk about hub, someone might be thinking that this is also a local medicine. Actually, we are talking about the whole system of that ICT, information communication technology. Mostly we say computer that has been installed at a regional referral hospital. Actually, we are not talking about a local medicine because people believe that the hub is actually that local medicine. We are talking about the whole system of that information and communication technology in Lemasi language called the whole system of computer that has been installed at a regional referral hospital. When we talk about the whole system, that means the monitor is there, the keyboard is there, the printer, everything, the modem, internet is there. Something which requires the computer to work. That means the whole system is there. Now this one brings us to the point. Why has it been installed? How will it help people?
But
How will it operate?
Benson, before we get in there, I believe, first explain to me what the difference between ICT Hub and the ICT Lab is all about. Is there any difference? Because sometimes when we move in these facilities and you hear ICT Hub, but you're seeing the same computers there, why don't we just call it a computer lab?
No, in general, there is no much difference between ICT Hub and the ICT laboratory. Me, I can say just open that there is no difference. Just the difference between the two terms. Sometimes they say ICT laboratory or is computer laboratory. Sometimes they say ICT hub or is a computer hub. Just there is no much difference. Just overlapping with the two terms. That's the hub and the laboratory. And first, this one brings us to the point of how, because what the viewer will be interested in knowing is how will it operate
and how will it help the medics?
Exactly. How will it operate? How will it help the people? And also the health workers. Why? Of course, it has also been installed. It has also been commissioned. Just straight away, this one actually has been commissioned by Health Service Commission. This one, of course, has been commissioned by the director. And we saw the key stakeholders at the hospital also, they were in attendance as they were commissioning the ICT hub. How will it help the people? It will not only, though original, it has been installed or as it has been commissioned for the health workers. I can confirm to you this one will not only help the health workers in the region. It's not only for the health workers who are working at a regional referral hospital. Actually, that one is for all the health workers we have in the region, whether you are from Urume, whether you are from any part of the region. That one will help all the health workers. How will it help the health workers? Of course, a health worker who is watching us at this particular moment will also want to know how this one will benefit him or her. As a health worker from any part of the region, you can come there, you apply for a job. You come there at a regional referral hospital, you do your things, you apply via the system. That is one way how, of course, it will help these health workers. Secondly, it also helps them in doing their research. You know, world of today is dynamic. Things keep on changing. You come there, you do your research. That is also one way how, of course, it will also help these health workers. These are the key. These are key areas where it is going to help them. And also, like we said, it will not only help the health workers, it is also going to help the community members. How will it help the community members? It will help the community members in these ways. First of all, as a community member, as a verified community member, what am I trying to say here in Lemasi language? You come there, you come with your documents of such that people know that you have knowledge about computer, how to operate computer. You come there, you do what you want to do. As long as you have verified documents, you can be able to access the ICT hub. Secondly, if you are sick, you can also go there. They do diagnosis there. Those are the things, or those are the ways of how it will also help the community members. We have only highlighted the key reasons.
Mine now will be as a source of warning to the medics. We shouldn't also really be that we are too busy to have time for research. Benson, I want to also really ask the medics to also really utilize and take advantage of this facility by doing research. But many times you will realize that some of these people say they do not have time to also really go and better themselves out. Because I feel if one person does research, first of all, it builds also in confidence. Then secondly, value addition also comes in. And to which also we could just simply take advantage by using the ICT hub in there. And that's only where I now want to ask the medics to also utilize this facility fully in there, and they must also take advantage of it, because at the end of the day, government of Uganda has invested money in there, which shouldn't also go into waste. And now also as a warning to those who will also misuse the facility for downloading movies, for downloading music, we are saying that is not for doing that business. It is strictly for purposes of doing research and for bettering ourselves up. And this is also where the medics, we don't want to see people come and download movies, we don't want to see people downloading songs from this facility in there, because it was not established for that purpose. We are saying utilize it for research and bettering yourselves as medics, because if at all you continue to also lag behind, then definitely the changes may leave you behind, because the ICT world we are living is today a bit very much tactical. It keeps on advancing each and every day. It means you who is there as a doctor, you need to move far with the changes, and that's where through this facility, then definitely you'll be able to realize that dream in there. And that's where Benson, I don't know if you have anything to say as we also move into some of the topics, because we have lots more stories as we are running out of time.
People believe that things to be done with the ICT are always very expensive. We need to also give them the cost. That thing cost, the project actual cost around over 20 million Ugandan shillings. And we have in 17 regional referral hospitals all over the country, and all of them are set to benefit out of this initiative. That means it's not only a project for a regional referral hospital. Right now in the region we have 2 referral hospitals, that one of Uyumbe. That means all the referral hospitals we have all over the country are set to benefit out of this project. It's something that has been installed or that has been worked upon for the public. So the only thing remaining is for us to know how to use it. We must learn how to utilize it, and at the same time how we can actually maintain it. That's what I can say as far as that project of ICT hub all over the country is concerned. And recently we have actually been only discussing about that one of Arua Regional Referral Hospital. That's what I can say about the whole matter.
Already about 9 computers have been installed already. I can confirm that, Benson. And now we want to ask the medics not to allow this maybe equipment to lie idle in the lab in there. Take advantage of it, better yourself up, so that slowly you move also with the world at par in there. And Benson, that is where we are leaving the discussion in relation to health with. And now let's look at what is happening in the world of politics. National Unity Platform Party is planning to host 4 years of anniversary, and that's also where they requested, that is through Ministry of Defense, also to use that is Kololo ceremonial grounds. But information coming from that side indicates now that they have not also been allowed to use Kololo ceremonial grounds. They have been asked to also choose another facility for their ceremony that also is to take place on the 22nd of this month in there. What can you say about that? And how do you, maybe what facility would you suggest for National Unity Platform Party, given that this function is going to be taking place in central Uganda, which is only the base for this national, for this party in there? Which other ground could you suggest for them to use as an alternative if at all Kololo fails?
You know, it depends on the number of the masses they want to accommodate.
Of course, they're going to attract the numbers.
Yeah, we believe that we are still believing, because we have not known the exact number of people, the masses who are coming for the anniversary. If Kololo has been restricted for them, I think they need to look for a convenient place where, of course, it can be in a vivid way, in a vivid manner. I think it just depends on how the whole preparation has been and how organized they are. I think it will be something which will boost a lot. I can say generally it is something which is yet coming, because 22nd is not all that very far. And the good thing is they have allotted them very early. The only thing which is remaining is now into the hands of the organizers to see that they actually look for a convenient place. Even an open ground can still accommodate. Last year we saw them having something here in Arua, and it was taken that side of Ondoparaka, Ilufura playing ground, and it managed to accommodate the masses, the population that turned up, I think, Just a matter of doing it in
So
organized
should
way.
we say they should use a ground, let's say like Nambole? Because unlike in central Uganda, we do not have many of those playing grounds. And I believe a playing ground, just like Elifura, cannot be able to accommodate the masses that will be attracted also really at also really this function also to celebrate 4 years. Because look at central Uganda, by the way, Benson, that is one of the areas also really that is a stronghold of the National Unity Platform Party. And today when we talk about National Unity Platform Party leading as the main opposition party in Uganda, it's actually because of the support that they got way back in Buganda. And that's why we're saying or having this ground, having this small field that suggests like Elifura may not be enough, because look at what happened in Arua. Elifura alone for Arua City was able to be filled. What about for Buganda, where we
by the way, there is also one thing I am looking
from
forward.
Mitiana and the rest of the areas.
By the way, you take a look at Noop, where people love calling it Noop. Majority of the supporters are just youths, and you look at 22nd I think will be on Monday, next Monday, and I think it will find most of the youths, I think, it will be better if they had scheduled it to be over a weekend, maybe on a Saturday, because Saturdays will be, we believe, in fact, Saturday is actually one of the days over the weekends. People always relax, taking it to be on a Monday, which is a busy day for most of the youths, I think the turn-up might not be all that massive compared for it to have taken place over a weekend. I think still, if they go for a large open ground, it can accommodate the masses, the supporters.
Okay, these people are looking forward to having about 15,000 people, and now the rejection of the facility. Bobby Wine has responded to that and says, call of venue rejection exemplifies nothing but state capture. What can you make of that statement, Benson?
You know, normally when you have ambition for something, like you are refused to hold something, you are refused to do something in a particular place, generally, yeah, it affects you. Of course, you will have to utter something, which, so it's just something which happens.
Okay, now a furious National Unity Party President Robert Chagulanyi Sentamu has slammed the government for denying its party to request, that is to host their 4th anniversary at Kololo ceremonial ground, saying the decision exemplifies nothing but state capture in there. Noop last week also wrote to the Permanent Secretary of Defense and Veteran Affairs, also seeking to use Kololo for their 4th anniversary celebrations due to take place on the 22nd of July this year. But in a letter also really signed by Sam Kulu on behalf of the Ministry Permanent Secretary, the government told Noop also to use alternative venues, and that means Kololo is not going to be unused for them because of the ongoing infrastructure developments at the facility in now. And now we have also seen National Party President also responding that, and Noop principal, who is leading his party on countrywide mobilization tour in the western Osoro areas, also said drew parallels between the snap for Kololo venue and whose they are facing. And he said all venue owners in towns where they are canvassing support have been intimidated also not to host their events in there, and that means they are not also really allowed to go on with the activities. Benson, as other county maybe leaders are moving on, traversing the country to also really make sure they talk to their voters, because this is a time where we're also really going to be looking out to the people. And now remember, by the way, Benson has not given time for also really the people to go on with the campaigns. Yeah. But now electoral reforms are not being done, Benson, and that's also really something I believe which will also really be coming out from one of the engagements that will be going on today, where also really we expect the issues of what we call reforms. And EC has actually said, and the government of Uganda actually has said, with or without the reforms, the elections will still go on peacefully. Yeah. And what about stopping people to also have such moments also to interact with their voters? How will this impact?
So first, the good thing is the campaigns. Of course, they have not started officially. That is one thing people, of course, must know. Secondly, if you are stopped from maybe having such kind of engagements in some places, that means there might be 1 or 2 reasons. Maybe, like you say, the facility is under renovation. Of course, when something is under renovation, you cannot tell.
It is not safe, yes.
Yeah, it's not safe. Maybe that might be the reason as to why, of course, they have not allowed for the whole thing to take place that side. Maybe there might also be 1 or 2 reasons, which of course we may not be having knowledge about it, but what we believe at the moment, which is on the table, is that the facility is under renovation, where there is no need for people to tamper with it, maybe hosting such kind of a crowd. That is what we believe the current reason.
What would be your message to National Platform Party leaders in relation to this event?
What I want to say is it's a very big event. Though it sounds as something minor, because like you said earlier on, this is actually the biggest opposition platform that's to NRM, and people are going to come in numbers. What they only need to do is they need to reorganize, readjust, looking for a place where, of course, they can be able to accommodate so many masses. Like you said, they are targeting around 15 gathering, 15 masses. They need to look for a convenient place to see that they ignore the other mentality of them being ignored from hosting the event at Kololo. So that's what I can only say, because we have seen things failing at the door, and still it works towards the end. That's what I can only say to the organizers of the event.
We are saying if plan A fails, then let's go with plan B, and the event must also really go on as planned in there. That is my message to the National Party leaders, to also really find an alternative venue. It could now be inachievable, where they can also maybe pay for money and also have the facility and they have the engagement go on there. It could be Nambole, which is also really being officially commissioned for usage, where we have been seeing test matches being going on. It means they still could be able to use the facility for their activity in there, but that's where we are saying they must work shoulder by shoulder with government, hand in hand, to make sure this event goes on as planned.
First, before we shift our focus away from that story, there is one thing I've been observing all over the country. I don't know if it is also happening in other parts of the world. Mostly in Uganda, people do see playing grounds with these other engagements. I don't know if it's also happening in other parts of the world.
Yes, it is actually happening in a rural city, where we have often seen complaints where there are primary school playgrounds. Benson, by there was used for activities such as in the prayers. We used to see it for marriages, but not for football.
Is
and
it
now,
right?
because of pressure, now we are seeing at least the school team has now started training from there.
Not only in Arua, is it right to host such kind of events here in the playing grounds? Because I still continue to believe
as
in Uganda.
As a sports pundit, what can you say about that? Because that is main area where I believe you have first knowledge in.
I don't go with that idea. I don't go with that idea. That is the reason as to why I am trying to compare the situation which is happening in the country with the rest with what is happening in the rest of the world. Yes, if in the rest of the world it is happening like that, there is no problem. But if this is only happening here, maybe in Uganda, we need to adjust away from that, because really playing facilities, sharing it for those other engagements, to me, I don't see it going very well. Like you have given an example with the Arua Primary Playground. I still continue to believe we don't have stadiums here maybe we only have in Nambole, a mini stadium, but we don't have stadiums here in the country. At least facilities that are for sports, they are supposed to be left for sports. And I think this is now a role to the government to see that, or to all the stakeholders to see that they actually differentiate sports facilities with the facilities for other things, events, engagements. Things for sports, of course, will have to remain for sports. Things for other engagements will have to remain for...
That is where we are leaving that discussion in relation to, that is also the sports facilities being used for other activities aside. Now, Benson, there has been a planned march that is to Parliament, that's over issues of corruption, where we did see this going on social media, and now we are seeing with just 5 days remaining to the event. The group is moving, traversing the country, and also talk to the young people to also make sure that they also join hands, that is to march up to Parliament against corruption. And the videos have already been identified, and now, despite police warning, these people have still continued to go on and ask also the masses to join them also in marching, that's to Parliament in there. What can you say about that? What is likely to happen? Because we are seeing police coming out that this is also really under unclear motive, which may also be also as a result of wanting to harm the Ugandans. What can you say about that?
You know, Farisi, fighting corruption is everyone's role, is everyone's right, and the fight begins with you. It begins from it starts with you. It proceeds to the family.
Then now, these people who have been behind the match have been identified as, one of them is Shamim Nambasa, an intern pharmacist also at Yumbe Regional Referral Hospital, and the 87th Guild President, that's of Makerere University in there. And she explains that the youth have tried all the avenues to demand better services from the government without success in there. Now that is why they have resorted to what we call the planned march. that is to Parliament in there. Now we also do have, that is George Victor Otieno, a law student also, who says he has always been passionate about social justice, and revealed that demonstration is a collection effort. Our efforts are fueled by the frustration and commitment of countless Ugandans who have also witnessed firsthand the devastating also the impact of the systematic corruption in there, and that is one thing we did see in there. And Mr. Otieno also denies receiving international funding also really to destabilize the country, countering claims also made by Mr. Chris Obore, Parliament's communications director in the opinion piece also published in yesterday's edition. Mr. Obore also said the regime change also protagonists have exhausted all strategies to bring down the Ugandan government and failed, and have been pressed upon their founders also to have new ideas to mobilize and also really cause anger against Parliament in there, and that is according to information we did receive from also Chris Obore in there. And now what is police saying? Because one of those people mentioned is also the group I've just mentioned, and not forgetting also the one identified as Kennedy Ndiamuki, a journalist and also the startup also the founder, and that means also these people have now joined hands and to join the rest also of the country to also plan that demonstration in there. And Mr. Praise Aloekina Polos, a law student, also is one of those meaning we have two ladies and two gentlemen behind this also move in there. And Benson, will this also be peaceful as they are alleging, because they are saying they want to hold a peaceful protest and also the peaceful march that is to Parliament in there. And what exactly is police saying? We are seeing also when contacted police spokesperson Kituma Rusoke confirmed that the IGP's office had received the letter and will issue communication that is in the calls, and that's where we're saying to have what we call peaceful protest is a right, but we make sure it does not also break the law, because it must be within the confines of the law. But really, is it right for people to watch and also walk into Parliament either? Because given the fact that we have just recently seen the same scenario happen in Kenya, where we saw destructions, where we saw loss of lives, Benson, really, is it the right time? Is it the right channel that the young people are supposed to be attacking? Because these are all youths who are behind also the planned protesting, and one of them is actually an intern student that is at regional referral hospital, and that is Nana Sharim Nambasa, who is the 87th guild president of Makerere University in there.
First, I still continue to believe that fighting corruption starts with you as an individual, then it goes to the family members, and then it spreads its wings outside. Like you have said about actually the youth marching to the Parliament over the issue of corruption. You know, sometimes fighting against corruption, it is actually the person everyone develops. And you have mentioned some of the names, some of the services, some of the names. Like people believe, continues to believe that inadequate public services, maybe poor services, have been because of in corruption. Because when corruption is there, you don't expect that good public services, which of course is always the role of the government. Like now, marching to the Parliament over the issue of corruption, yeah, does the policy allow? If yes, they are doing the right thing. If the policy doesn't allow, of course, they are doing the opposite part of it. And secondly, when something reaches to the extent of people marching up to the Parliament, that means something has failed. And it makes me to flash back to my history of A-level about French Revolution. So when things go beyond, that means things have failed. And we also compare this one to whether the policy allows for them to march up to the Parliament. And this one, of course, will now increase on the matter, of course, will add as a catalyst. It's now a fight between the government, because government is us. People believe that the government is Museveni, what. No, government is us. It's now a fight amidst ourselves to see that we actually eliminate the tendency of...
Talking about corruption, recently we did see a retreat of the cabinet, Benson, where our MPs and also some ministers were for that retreat, and we did see also the permanent secretary is also being called upon also to be part of that discussion, that's also to spearhead the fight against corruption. At Benson, we have so many institutions that have been in place. We have the IGG, we have the Anti-Corruption Court, we have so many which are all there to fight corruption, but we are not seeing this also yielding fruits. And now the president of Uganda has actually created 2 more, which is going to help spearhead the fight against corruption. Is it the right time? Because we are living in a time where there was a merger of these agencies. What could you think, in your own opinion, needed to be done to those existing institutions?
First of all, you see, it is mostly the youths who are fighting for their faith, because it is affecting them. Because you look at the elder people, aged people, for them at least they have spent part of their life, people who are in their 40s, who are in their 50s, And the rest of the life has been left into the hands of the youth, because we believe that with the youth, we still have a long period, we still have a process to achieve our faith. Like mostly it is the youth trying to sit and the fight. And you have mentioned some of the institutions that are supposed to fight against corruption. If we have seen these people boycotting them, going arcade, leaving some of the channels, leaving the institutions, they are not following the steps. That means they believe...
Could it be that the institutions are not functioning?
Yeah, that is the point, of course.
Okay, that is where we are leaving that discussion aside with, and I'm still together with Oracle Benson Pastore. My name is Farish Majid. As the viewer, I want to take this opportunity to welcome you aboard from wherever you're watching us from, but we say we are yet running for this short commercial break, and when we bounce back, we still have lots more to also give you. And later on, Benson will be giving you what's happening in the world of sports. Stay tuned.
West Nile TV, lighting up the region.
Cameras, check. Lights, check. Sound, check. Judges, check. Action. Get ready for the Miss Uganda Grand Finale live at 8 p.m. on 3rd August 2024. 28 finalists in boot camp. One crown. Who will be the next Miss Uganda? Follow the beautiful journey to the final on Makula Chika, exclusively on Star Times every Friday and Saturday at 8 p.m.
Sponsored by VNA, LMZ, Comfort, Nigerian Hotel, Kira Motors, Sheraton, Uganda Airlines, and lead sponsors, Grace Textiles and U-Home.
Miss Uganda 2024. True Ugandan beauty.
West Nile TV, lighting up the region.
All right, welcome back from that short commercial breather. We are into the final half of the discussions for today and also for this week as well. And that means in this remaining hours of the hour, this remaining minutes, of the hour, we are going to be discussing what we also prepared for you in there. Now, Uganda Airlines has also spread its wings, that is new destinations. Another story that we are seeing on the past morning, where the national carrier Uganda Airlines has announced 3 additional routes. That's sorry to starting also this September, and the 3 additional routes also to Abuja, which is the capital capital, also the second capital of Nigeria, India, and we have Lusaka, which is in Zambia, Harare in Zimbabwe, and also with Abuja also made this flight started also for September 12th, India, and Lusaka also and Harare flights are set to take place, that is on the 25th of this year in September. And during the launch in Kampala, Ms. Jennifer Bamturaki, the Chief Executive Officer of the airline, yesterday also said the expansion is well thought as a plan also to expand the activities of the airlines in there. The 3 new routes are in addition to the existing ones, such as Nairobi, where we have been also having our airlines moving to Dar es Salaam, Bujumbura, Johannesburg, Dubai, Zanzibar, Lagos, Kinshasa, Mumbai, Mogadishu, Juba, and Kilimanjaro. And now we are seeing addition of new routes.
What does it mean? Of course, what does it mean to the country, to the people, to the citizens who are living in the country, and also those ones who are living in diaspora? This one comes with so many opportunities. And
before we get there, have you ever boarded an aeroplane?
I should be honestly, no.
Would you wish to board one?
No.
Okay,
no, that's fun part of it.
That is a discussion for that day, because I believe Benson thinks that he can never raise the money, but really, Benson, if I really want to travel, I want to board the airlines at least to fly from Uganda to Juba. This is my plans within also in the coming 2 years. I must make sure that I achieve this because I want to board. I really want to fly from Uganda to Juba and
for the business.
Even if not for business, just for fun. I want to certainly enjoy, because really sometimes you see aeroplanes, yet you're living in an area where you're seeing aeroplanes every day. Benson, really.
Okay, anyway, that is just fun part of it.
That's a discussion for that day, but really, now we are seeing our aeroplanes, also really the destinations are being expanded. It means this is going to be coming with business. I believe also the opportunities are also going to be coming in there. And also the revival of the Uganda Airlines, I believe, is actually one of those things we must also be proud of as a citizen. I believe this is only raising our flag very, very much high, given the fact that solely we have our colors being painted on the aeroplane. Really, I believe the Uganda flag is being raised high. What can you say about that?
Exactly, it comes with numerous advantages, numerous opportunities. And this is something, of course, the citizens in the country will have to smile for, because I know the biggest role it will play is in the sector of business, because, you know, as a country, we operate in business with the other countries all over the world, and mostly this one, the newly established wings, spreaded wings, have mostly been the countries within Africa. That means, of course, when it comes to the business sector of it within the countries where the wings have been spreaded, it will be something which is genius, which comes with advantages, and it will just be a way of how we can be able to implement it. That means we now have to keep that relationship with our neighboring countries intact, such that more, of course, will also be opened, as more will be spreaded. So that is what I can say as far as this initiative is concerned. Because me, I have looked at the sector of business being the best opportunity.
Well, kudos to Uganda Airlines for the revival and also the spreading of the journey, also the routes to other places. And I believe this is the way to go, and that's why I'm saying we need to have also such journeys also being taken off, and that's already, if at all you need to travel, then Uganda Airlines is the way to go as a Ugandan. I believe that is already where we are going to be also raising our flag very, very much high in there, and that is where I'm leaving that discussion aside with Benson. I don't know if you have anything to say, if that's also in relation to the spreading of the wings, also to new destinations, and that's already something at the end of the day which will also really make us proud. And upon the revival, I want to say kudos to the team behind also the revival and spreading of the journey, also wings. Yes.
Maybe finally, what is the next target for Uganda?
We need to buy more aeroplanes. We need to buy more aeroplanes.
We need to buy more aeroplanes. No, I am looking at the other destinations, other places. They will also want to open the destinations with it. Which other countries are they targeting next? And in the countries they are targeting, can it be so lucrative in terms of different sectors? These are the things, of course, they will also be working upon on their table to see that the number of the destinations, of course, increase such that, yeah, we operate very well. That's what I can say about that issue in summary. Okay,
that is Benson Pastore. Now, Benson, let's get into DRC, where the DRC military is said to be spending rose fastest in the world in 2023, according to CIPRI in there. And that's one thing we are seeing, where the global military expenditure is dominated by the United States and China, with 49% or so of total spending between them. And according to them, the most recent report of the Stockholm International Peace Research Institute Global Military Spending Research estimated also at about $2.4 trillion in 2023 and a 6.8% increase in 2022. Also indicates that Africa's military expenditure is comparatively low in 2023, and African countries also already spent about $51.6 billion, accounting to that is 2.1% of the world total. And still the figure was a huge also jump of 22% also already from the previous year. And the two countries in Africa, Democratic Republic of Congo and South Sudan, registered the highest year in year out increases in the purchase of the military ammunition in there. And that's certainly something we are seeing in the world. And Africa's military expenditure is also already very, very much low. And the growth in spending also reflected in overall government budgets, also priorities. Also share government expenditure by African countries increased from 6.6% in 2022 that is to 7.2% in 2023, a rise of about 0.6% points also in there. And that's something, Benson, I feel we need to also talk about. And what does this mean also to the government, also to the economies also of these countries, where we're seeing priorities being given, that is to purchase of military ammunition?
Yeah, first,
could it also really show the kind of peace or stability in these countries are exhibiting?
The ironical part of it is that the other countries, they still continue to believe that we are still behind as far as the security is concerned. I continue to look at the sector of health and the sector of security as being things that everyone, of course, every country will have to prioritize on, because without security, you are nothing. Without health, you are nothing. So if they still continue to say that we actually spending less as far as the security concern is concerned, that means we need to add something to see that we upgrade such that our security, of course, will have to improve, and also health. But this time we are actually looking at the Department of Security. It's now a role into our hands to see that we, the citizens, and also the government itself, to see that we each and every time, each and every day, we prioritize in the sector of security. That it doesn't mean that we should ignore other sectors. We should take them together, but security, of course, will have to be something that will have to prioritize on. Equipment, of course, rather will have to be enough, and also the human resource, they will also have to be enough.
Okay, talking about equipment and human resource, currently we are seeing our government of Uganda undertaking recruitments, that is into UPDF. It means that also really we need more equipment, and that's only where budget for this security also needs to be beefed up, because we are seeing, we are living peacefully. Yes, Benson, we do not have war, and now the war that is remaining, as said by the government of Uganda, is the war of poverty, where now we are seeing a number of government activities coming up. But really, that's also where we need to ask our people to also take advantage of these government programs, because money that was being given to you would have also been used for buying military equipment, could maybe used for buying jet fighters. But we are saying, if at all you receive the 1 million, please utilize it well. Make sure that at least you move out of the poverty economy, so that solely you are not only producing food for eating, but you're producing it for money in there. Really, the socio-economic activities also really, how much, Benson, have they yielded in your area?
Well, first, one thing I'm looking forward is...
in other words, are people taking advantage of these government programs?
It depends. Yeah, people are taking advantage of it. It depends on who you are. You see, there are some people who have benefited out of these government programs, particularly right now, the one which is trending is the PDM. There are some people who had money which is even more than 1 million Uganda is given through PDM program, and they have failed in managing the money. Others had acquired something of over 10 millions before, they had failed in it. Now, something of 1 million, will it not look something as a minor for them? But the 1 million, I believe, people who have that knowledge of operating well with the money, it can still sustain them for life, for a mean period. But people who had ever touched maybe more than 1 million, 10 million before, I think that money will just look at, they will look at the money as something which is minor, which cannot secure them for a longer period of time. But it depends on who the person is, the person who is benefiting out of the project, the mentality, your perception about the money. But if you believe that it can help you for a mean period, it can help. But if you believe that this is something which is very small, because for you, you had touched a very big amount of money before, still, of course, you will still remain as you are. what I can say is even 50,000 Ugandan shillings can still transform you from nothing to something. But all this depends on who you are, the mentality you possess.
Yes, talking about mentality, Benson, there is a planned press briefing that is supposed to be going on today in Arua City. That is also to give update on the parish development model activities also in the country, and that's also where we need to also assess and make sure at least that the money government of Uganda gave out the citizens also
Actually, I forgot one vital thing. Right now, the follow-up has started. In fact, the officials, people who are behind the PDM, who are monitoring the project, they have actually started a survey monitoring how, of course, the beneficiaries, they are actually spending the money. Like if someone has benefited out of this money, you see, mostly they are women. They are women. The first reach at your home, how, of course, you are utilizing the money, how, of course, you have spent the money. Like if you have spent the money in garden work, they take you to the field where, of course, you have been working. If maybe there is cassava plantation, maybe you have planted potatoes, they first take a look at what you have planted. Is it worth 1 million? You have to explain to them, because people believe that, like you said, people are not using the money in the right way. The plantation you are having, the crops you have planted, is it worth 1 million? If it is not worth 1 million, where is the balance? So you will have to explain to them. So they are doing the follow-up to see if real the EPDM project is transforming the lives of the people. That is the latest news I've actually got from people as far as the project is concerned. Others have got, others are still pending. So that is how it is. 50% they are using the money rightly, but others, of course, they are messing up with the money.
Now to you who is messing with the money which government gave to you, it is a revolving fund. Please eat it well, knowing that you will have to refund this money back. Because this is a revolving fund. That's like other people think that Benson, this money is given for them for campaigns. We are not saying that money is for campaign. That money is a revolving fund which you are supposed to borrow. After borrowing, refund it back. And also really sad that also each and everybody out there benefits from that money in there, because Benson really to have this money borrowed and just eat it like that, then that is quite unfortunate. We want to see change. We want to see people also really benefiting from this money is in there. Other than that, that is very wrong. And Benson, that is one thing also really we need to talk about. Now, Benson, by the way, as we get to move on with the show, as we head to the weekend, remember over the weekend also really so many things going to happen, and that's sort of where on Monday we shall be coming back to sort of let you know of what exactly is happening. But today, Benson, also really there will be a health camp going on in Tanganyika, just at the mosque, where also really so many diseases are going to be tested. But really, Benson, what do you think about the health camps? Do you think that they do a lot of the services? But really, you know, we did see it where hundreds of masses turned up for that health camp, and we moved that also to the locals of San Siro, and today it will now be in Tanganyika, and this is also where we are seeing a number of health workers also traversing the areas within Central Division, that is to health, is access to medical assistance.
Yeah.
What can you say about that?
Now, the issue here is, are they doing the right work?
Yes.
Yeah, we may say yes, because something which is always related to health, it is a good thing. And what about the turn up? If people are turning up massively, of course it is something which is yielding fruit. So what I can only say to the masses is that whenever such kind of opportunities that arrive in your area, you grab it. Of course, that is an opportunity for you, where of course you will be able to reveal something about your health, whether you are right health-wise. And sometimes you find that most of these things, either they are cheaply done, or is they come at no cost. This is at free cost, yes. No cost. So I encourage them to actually go for them, because you know things to be done with the health, mostly they are done at a cost. If they are reaching at your area, or is in your area with such kind of a free opportunity, of course you will have to grab it wholeheartedly. So that's what I can say. You come in numbers such that, of course,
bring the sequence so that they can be tested, and also make sure at least you who has been not feeling well have this.
But people run away from HIV test.
That is where also the testings will be going on. We shall be seeing testing of diseases such as hepatitis B, which also being a dangerous disease that has been killing so many people, also plus many other diseases like diabetes and many other sicknesses which have also been there, talking about pressure All this will be tested. That is today at Tanganyika, also at the mosque, also Masjid Nur, that will be going on today. And I believe this is also aiming to ease access to medical also health in there. And that's where I'm leaving a discussion aside with Benson. Before you get to give us what's happening in the world of sports, let's now see what's happening internationally. And now at least 54 Palestinians have been killed in 24 hours as Israel's military intensifies strikes on Gaza. That's in the central area, also in there, where thousands have been displaced. And also really now we are seeing also others drowning in sewage. And that's also really how dangerous it is. And Israel has reduced that by 94% of the amount of water available also for the Gaza people in there, creating a deadly health catastrophe. And I believe that's also according to information we are receiving from Oxfam in there. That means there's something that needs to be done, because the people of Israel really sometimes are going through what we call hell. But how do we make sure that we live in a world that is free of peace? That is also where it goes back entirely to the leaders, and something needs to be done. Benson, what do you think needs to be done to these people who are behind what we call the atrocities of creating war?
First of all, when there is a wrangle, when there is a war, what do we advocate for? We advocate for peace. That is the only message, of course, I can pass to the stakeholders, to the key people, to see that actually they calm the situation. We are really praying that peace, of course, will have to overwhelm them, such that they live in a harmonious manner. That's what I can say as far as that wrangle is concerned.
Okay, war is never good, and that's why we're saying people must resist some tendencies of war, and the leaders also must make sure that they not cause war. Because usually we say when there's war, it is the grass that suffers. But that shouldn't be the case, and that shouldn't also happen. And some members of the diplomatic corps, international organizations, have also asked the people to also really allow peace also reign in there. They are praying for war and they want to end, and that's also where we are seeing places such as schools being attacked. Hospitals also not being spared as well, and that is one dangerous thing. And now that's where we're leaving that discussion in relation to Gaza side. Now let's get into America, where the democratic pressure builds on COVID-19 Biden, and Biden, by the way, has been tested positive for COVID-19. I don't know what that means, Benson. That's sort of something we are seeing on the past morning, where Joe Biden faces new questions over his candidacy for re-election, as top Democrats have reportedly also expressed concerns about his ability to win. And the president also has steadfastly insisted that also remain also to the Democratic nominee of November's election in there. And Biden says he's feeling good after COVID-19 infection through his campaign also events that are currently also already on pause, as he isolates himself also in Delaware in there. And his re-election attempt was already being buffed also by growing dissent among top Democrats after the disastrous also debate performance against Donald Trump last month. What can you say about that, Benson, about the democracy in America? Recently we did see, by the way, Donald Trump, the former president of America, who is also eyeing a comeback, surviving an assassination.
It happens. It happens whenever in leadership. It happens. But about the issue of COVID, as it is still there, is actually whenever of late you talk about COVID, people start. It leaves people in wonder: is it there? If it is there, where? So this is actually what is running in the minds of people. So we continue to say that COVID is real. But of late it is scarcity about the issue of the democracy. Normally in sector of leadership, it continues to happen, not only in America, but all over the country. Okay. It just depends on how you build your system of leadership. Okay,
that brings us to the end of those discussions. And now finally, to summarize with what's happening in the world of sports. Muhammad Jagason Deldon is leaving KCA, the Kasasiro Boys.
Yeah, Kasasiro Boys in relation to Muhammad Saban's deal. So this time, what I can say about that issue is we wish him the best, because we have seen him whenever he leaves the country to another country. Like the other time he went to Raja Casablanca, he fell till he had to come back to Ugandan football. That was when he started signing. Now he's going away from the country. So we are hopeful that what happened with him in the past seasons, of course, will not be able to repeat itself. But me, I had a belief that I really wanted him to still stay in Ugandan football, but now if he has taken the decision to go to Libya...
Yes, this decision came yesterday after the player we are talking about, Muhammad Shaban Jagason Deldon, also failing to agree with the Kasasiro Boys side over issues of payment. Now he is being linked with the move that is a Libyan league in there, and that's also where he is going to be earning some huge amount of money, Benson. And I believe this is actually very good for us. But our prayers remains that where he is going, Benson, I pray at least this time around he also shines, because last season he was the top scorer scorer of the Uganda Premier League, and I believe he can also still do the same, maybe in the Libyan Premier League in there. What can you say about that?
You know, like you have said, we are just praying that he will not fail again, like how it happened in the previous years. Cause going to Morocco, failing, coming to the country, you sign, and again is going, and people continue to believe, and me, I also believe that most of the Ugandan players, whenever they step out of the country, only very few sign, but most of them, they have been failing. Even here on African soil, most of them have been failing. You look at Leku Alfred at Royal, he was a star. After leaving Royal, going to Zesco in Zambia, he failed in everything. Now he's nowhere to be seen. But that's not what I am actually. That's not what I am wishing for Muhammad Saban. We hope that he will still continue with the form he had been having with the team of Kasasiro boys. And Paris also leaving that one there, narrowing it within the region, particularly in Narue City. Recently, we had 2 schools that went to represent the Western region in the mini Northern region cricket tournament in that side of Gulu. We had Oli Parents Primary School and also Anyafio Primary School. Actually, they came back with the gongs. What does it mean? Yeah, in a different sporting activity, that is cricket, because mostly people do follow traditional sporting activities like football, but football and netball. But this time, our kids signing in a different sporting activity, that's cricket. I think that's something plus to these kids and also to their head coaches who have been behind them. And also leaving that one there, we also had the schools that went to represent our region in the National Championship ball game too in Soroti. We had the Republic Senior Secondary School. We also had the Senior Secondary School that was in the sector of netball. In volleyball, we had the Senior Secondary School both in girls and boys. In basketball, we also had a school of St. Joseph's College. We had that in Nyangilia Senior Secondary School in volleyball. So finally, the tournament has come to an end yesterday. Actually, it came to an end on Wednesday, which was 17th of this particular month, and the year still remains 2024. As I speak right now, they are back in their various destinations, and the Republic, at least they tried. Also in Varasina Secondary School, they also tried in netball because they managed to win some games there, and also in volleyball, in basketball. And most of these schools, they have tried, because we are all aware that most of these sporting activities, they are still new in our region. If they can go for nationals, they compete with the other schools that have been actually participating in these sporting activities before, they at least come back with 1 or 2 wins. That means we have done better. That's what I can say as far as local sports is concerned. And something a little about what is happening internationally is all about, I think Manchester United fans can have something to smile for, as they have already acquired the services of that Lenny, that's from Lille. And this guy, they have Lenny Euro, they have acquired him at a fee of around 62 million euros. That's equivalent to 52 million pounds. And he had strongly been linked with a move to Los Blancos, that's Real Madrid in Spain. But he opted to join that's Manchester United. And Manchester United fans, we are all aware that they have been actually having problems in the defense line, more especially the heart of the defense line, central defense, acquiring a player, Lenny Euro, at such kind of amount, but he's still a teenager, 18 years of age. The question now remains, will he be able to fit in the English Premier League? Is actually what everyone is waiting to see. He started his career with Lille way back in 2022, but I can confirm to you, Manchester United, they have actually signed a real defender, but English Premier League is always different from other leagues.
Okay, that is it, Benson, and I believe that brings us to the end of today's discussions. And maybe over the weekend, what is there for us to sort of maybe be part of? What games are there?
Do
we have any games? Because right now we are seeing the sports period being a little bit dormant.
What I can say is sports period actually is now at its peak, because what people love most when it comes to summer is actually the transfer bit of it. The European Championship has come to an end. Also, the Copa America has come to an end. Clubs are now turning their focus to transfer, and also friendlies. Friendlies have happened. Manchester United, their first friendly was actually against Rosenborg, which they lost by a goal to nil. And also local here, clubs have also started playing friendlies. And Raka, there was a time they were actually for a friendly, so they won it. So our local clubs, they are also for preparation and registration has also started for our clubs here to see that they acquire these players early.
Okay, that brings us to the end of the discussions for today and the week as well. Benson, I want to thank you so much for coming through and also talk to the viewer out there and also the sharing knowledge. And I believe you watched us right from the time we began until this hour of the morning. You had a wonderful time, but now it's time for us to slowly move out and allow Fete Emmanuel to come through with the news bulletin in Liberty. That will be also followed by other programs that will be coming through later. And for now, we sign out and say have a good day and a good weekend as well.